TaysGreenLife with Magdalene. Hello, Magdalene.
What's up?
So, can you guys introduce yourself and tell me why you're on the podcast?
Oh, I'm Suzanne. I'm the vocalist. I'm on the podcast because I met you at a show, and it was super cool to chat with you. You said, "Hey, you want to do this podcast?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I'm excited to have you guys here.
Oh, I'm Bruce.
You're Bruce.
I'm Adam. I play the
Hi,
drums.
Adam. Okay.
He's like our
All
social
right.
media king.
All right. So, how long has Magdalene been a band?
Officially, it would be March of 2018, so about
Okay.
almost 4.5 years. So
Okay.
4 years and like 3 months.
All right. Is everyone how many members do you have with your band?
4.
4. So, has it been just you guys from the beginning
no.
or no? Okay.
No.
You want to yeah.
Growing pains in the like we had. So all of our members we love that we've had, and just as we evolve and as things change and everybody's life, it changes. So I just some members come in and some members.
Yeah. I can see that. Especially when you guys are like working together. Sometimes some people just don't fit. And other times some people do fit and there's like nothing wrong with that. I mean, times are changing. So like, you got to adapt to the time. So would you think it's easier to record music now than it was maybe 10 to 15 years ago?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay.
When we recorded the last
Yeah.
time, we didn't use a bass player. We
Yeah.
didn't use a drummer. Like we just had our members actually stand over and digitally put their parts in.
Yeah.
So they got to say what they wanted.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen the process before. I mean,
Yeah.
I've talked to you for a
It's
while.
insane how you guys can just like basically copy and paste some intros into a track and get it going.
Hey, man, it is amazing. The guy that does our sound, man, he's the genius whiz of that.
Yeah.
Like, I've learned a lot from him. Because
That's
I'm from
good.
the analog.
Yeah. So since you've had more experience, Brucifer, can we talk about having Ronnie Radcliffe living with you? Can we talk about that?
Actually, did I say he lived with me? Like he stayed with me a couple times.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I'm sorry. He stayed with you. How was that experience?
Oh, I mean, he was a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just a kid. He was just he was a rock star. I mean,
Yeah.
immediately. Like, 19-year-old kid.
Yeah.
He shared a band room with us too.
Yeah.
Like it was like us and then one of the guys from Crazy Town. He died. He passed away. His name was Rust Epic. A guy named Matt Gimmond. He was a porn king. And it was the guy that was the guitar player for Cold was in the band room. Like it was a big band room in Vegas.
Oh wow.
So they started out as Escape the Fate, obviously. And then I had a Halloween party one night and Ronnie would come over our house anyway, like, and just hang out with I had a couple roommates, Natalie and Talia. And I mean, they would come over, he would just come over and hang out and then he would stay over. But then we had a Halloween party one night and we decided to have them play and it was madness.
Yeah.
That was Escape the Fate's pretty much, I don't know if it was their debut, but it was big. It was where Michael found them, Elvis Pasquette, the guy that produced them.
Yeah.
So when he found them, man, he was like, dude, that guy right there is a rock star. And yeah, from that point forward, I watched his career just go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
And then he went away, and then I went away into wherever I went. And so I haven't really seen him, haven't talked to him, haven't gotten the chance to look at him and go, hey, what's up, man? Like, I don't even think he realizes that I'm in the music scene still, because the band I was in was like, older than him. So he probably thinks, hey, that's just gone. Great guy.
With since Falling Reverse hasn't released anything since 2017, do you guys feel comfortable doing singles or is that better than doing an EP and an album?
So my question to that would be, why just Ronnie Radke on that?
That's exactly, like, it's just based on someone because they've made it to like the scene and they've gotten out there pretty big, and a lot of people know them. So I was relatable content,
Okay.
and and you knew that person, you saw that person, and you met that person, and that person also hasn't released music in a while. So
Well, I
we
mean,
don't. Yeah.
it's got to be, that's tough to say. That Ronnie
Yeah.
would have to answer that question because, I mean,
Yeah, he
like I
would.
said, when he was younger, like he was fire. He was on fire.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, it's also when it comes down to that, it's actually the anticipation. It's like
Hmm.
Shinedown, for example. Shinedown kept releasing singles
Yeah.
up until the full debut of the album. So it's the
Yeah.
anticipation and actually dragging people in, be like, hey, we have a song this month. And then it's kind of like what we just did. We
Hmm.
released Lost My Zen. Now Warning came out a month later. And so
Yeah.
now you drive up that anticipation, be like, oh my God, what are these guys going to bring out next? And then once, maybe there's 3 or 4 songs left of the
Yeah.
album, that's when you drop the full album, because then now they're like, there it is. Finally, I got my hands on it. And so it's like nowadays, the anticipation of all those singles being released
Hmm.
makes you want more
Yeah.
and, keep listening.
That's what I feel like a lot of people don't seem to understand. Like, social media nowadays is, if people aren't paying attention to it, it's not going to be talked about or like noticed.
Oh,
So I feel
absolutely.
like giving someone something, being like, oh, they have something else coming out with, also keeps them entertained. Like, even when I'm on social media, I'm like, I can't just post everything at once, If I did that, then I would lose viewers like maybe next month, because I'm doing the same thing. So it's good to, like, I guess, experience different like things in the music world, and by taking it slow, to step by step. And like, what would you recommend, like, to other bands, younger bands that are trying to make it out there?
well, um, actually, I would ask them the question because I'm
Yeah.
the analog era. You know what I'm saying? Like this
Yeah.
whole thing with singles is new for me because
Yeah.
what I grew up in was you made a record.
Yeah.
You took your whole story and you made it a story. So now we're actually doing kind of the same thing, but there's no reason to go in and spend so much money on making a whole record because you're
Yeah.
taking 3 weeks, a month out of your life to make a record when you can just go do it in 3 days. I'm going to go get 3 singles done here. Then I'm going to go
Yeah.
back. It's just kind of like getting a tattoo. Like you're going to
Yeah.
go in and get your session done. And then you have 3 more pieces of ink to show off,
Mhm.
I guess. So that's why we're doing singles the way we're doing it. I mean, we could put a record together, but we're not going
Yeah, but what would we recommend for younger bands?
well,
You kind of have to think as far as pushing your music the old way as
Mhm.
well as the new way. You can't just sit behind your keyboard or sit behind your phone and push your band, because it's only going to reach so much.
Yes.
There's algorithms, there's brick walls that you are going to
Oh,
hit
yeah.
that people, if you don't do it properly, it's still not going to get pushed right. So guess what? Go to your local shows, support your other local bands, tell them about your band.
Yes.
Or I mean, even if it's not a venue that's according to your genre, go into a country bar, tell people about your band. Because a lot of times nowadays, a lot of people listen to more than just one genre, and they're very okay with it. Be like, hey, I got a hard rock group. It's like, but you keep going out and still pushing the old style with the new style.
And the thing is you also have to you have to be able to reproduce it. Putting
Yes.
music together in the studio these days, you can do freaking anything. Like you can go and do quadruplets on the drums, and then somebody goes and sees the band after listening to the recording, go, damn, what did that happen? You know what I'm saying? Like you can get away with a lot on recording these days, but you got to be able to reproduce it, because if you have a mega hit and you can't reproduce it, they're gonna come watch you, and that shit's memorable.
So when we have like you're saying that you have to keep producing that same sound. I have noticed, like, bands will have like a huge following on social media, but if you go to one of their shows and you never see that social media there. So how would you based on your opinion, how would you like go about that? Having the
So-
social media and the fans actually showing up.
That's her.
Yeah, that's me. So I am a big connector. You know what I mean? And so is Adam. Like we're super into making sure that we're with fans, and we're talking with the fans, we're talking to people who do the music.
Yeah.
Our 4th member just walked in the door.
Okay.
So you're gonna have all four of us. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah,
But
that's great.
so, and a lot of the times you will see it on social media. Like there's some bands where you'll see they have like a lot of streams on their videos, but only 100 people actually like the video. Meanwhile, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
so that's questionable. It's like, how did they get all those views if there's not that many people interacting? So a long time ago when we first started, someone told me about how we should make sure, I'm trying to tip so you can get less in here too, so that to make sure that we actually have really good engagement ratio. So we may not have the most amount of likes on our Instagram, but you know what? If you look at the amount of people that respond to our posts on our Instagram, it's a really good percentage. And that's what they said they're looking for, is at least 30% engagement. 30% of your fans should be like engaging with some of your posts. And that's what we really are very passionate about, is making sure that we're talking to the people too. That's why we post the pictures like, hey, caption this, because they're funny. And I always feel kind of bad whenever I do something like that, because I don't want to hurt the photographer's feelings. But I think that, you know, sometimes you just capture us in like a really funny moment. Anyway, sorry, long-winded answer. Sorry, I do that. And I
There's a lot of them.
You guys are good.
Yeah.
I liked it. Since we're still talking to you, how do you feel being a very strong female vocalist in a male-dominated scene?
I don't even care.
You see?
Is that? Can I even say that? Like, I mean, because I am so I just don't really think about it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I just feel like I don't know, maybe because sometimes, you know, I'll come out there and I'm like talking to all these bands and they're questioning me like, why are you doing this? What are you like, why are you in a scene like this? And I'm like, because one, I like the music, and two, I want to do something for the community. Like I'm out here like doing what I need to do, even though it's a male dominant genre. Like a lot of women aren't really in it, and I want more women, you know, I want more feminine energy. Like women rock stars is what we need.
What?
I disagree.
Oh no.
It's not a male. Okay.
It is male dominated.
Yeah, but you know what the males can't do? They can only pour out their hearts so much because they got to keep the fucking pool thing going on. You know what I'm saying? Most of them do. Females, they can go there and cry. It don't matter. They're females. They can do whatever they want, and they have the biggest emotion and the biggest hearts.
I mean, I feel like that's true, but like at the same time, men deserve, you know, men are allowed to show emotions too. They are allowed to show whatever they want, you know. Mental health, especially for men, is very important. No one talks about that either. Everyone's mental health is very important.
Yeah,
and like I feel like it's great that you guys, you know, are working together without, you know, the stigma. And I think that's very important, and it shows a lot of like to other girls, you know, like girls want to be just like you.
So, for me, one of the most important things about being, so I don't really think about it being around all the men. What I think about is lifting up all the women.
Yes.
Right. So if you notice, because you've got to share with me, I will go out there, and especially if there's kids. If there are young girls out there, I will try to make sure that I talk to every single young person at that show to make sure that they feel welcome and that they feel like, oh, okay, that there's community here. And there's another couple of female artists that I've really bonded with over like the last year or whatever. And there's a couple of them that I chit chat with, and I just started talking, and everybody had told me at Blue Ridge Rock Festival, they're like, oh my God, you haven't met Mindy from Dying Oath? And I'm like, no, I haven't met Mindy from Dying Oath. I want to meet her. But we started talking because we were going to do a show together, and she is the same way. She's just so about building a positive community, and so is Amanda, who is in your Richmond in the RVA community. So it's just makes me happy. You know what I mean? We can bond. There's a girl that I talk to a lot that we keep talking about. We're going to do a bulldog park. We both have bulldogs.
Yeah.
And that's this is Zilcha from Rain of Z. So you know, there's a lot of people, of course, that I'm not going to be able to name everybody, but you know, I really feel strongly about making friends and growing up and lifting each other up.
Yeah.
Totally. You know, the way it used to be a lot of the time was that people would tear each other down, and I just don't feel that anymore. I feel more so that where it's like we're trying to lift each other up.
It's all about positivity and like working together and building a community, because I mean, like, there's so much hate in the world as it is, and it's just better for everyone to, you know, love each other, even if like you're uncomfortable with someone, you still like should feel like a kindness for humanity and for everyone else. And a lot of the times, a lot of people just don't do that, and it's like it's so unfair because there's so many opportunities when you work together, when you communicate, especially like going to other venues. Like you have to friend these other bands, you know, that band
Yeah,
might be able to help you out, you know, or you might be able to help them out, and it's good to start a community and get that going, and a lot of people don't preach about that, and it's I think that's very important, especially in Richmond and the whole like Virginia area too. Like we should all be working together and building each other up.
I agree.
How often do you guys get together for practice and when you prepare for a show? I know you said yeah, you all work together, you guys are always together.
Well, three of us actually live together also.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we
that-
actually have a studio. We are all electronic at home, but we come here, we put it all out acoustically or with the actual instruments and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, usually 2 to 3 times a week.
That's good. I was
Well, Sundays and Mondays.
Sundays and Mondays. I feel the same. I try to do like an interview probably like twice a week. And those are like certain days where I'm like at the studio doing stuff too. So like I always have like a set routine. Is that something you guys do too? Is normal practice like a routine, or is it just all over the place?
No, we try to do just Sunday, Monday, or
Sunday,
Monday,
Monday?
Friday. We try to stick
Okay.
to those 3 days, either Sunday, Monday, or Monday, Friday. And it depends
That's
on when the
good.
show lands.
What was one of your favorite bands that you guys played with? And what are some other bands you would like to play with in the future?
Oh, God.
Oh my, that is such a good question. I think I saw it and I was like, I don't even know. So I mean, because we opened Lunatic Luau, so we got to open technically, even though they were on a different stage, but for the Pretty Reckless and Disturbed. But like, who would we like to tour with? There's so many.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we could each name a band. If we could each think of one band.
What's the band?
Bad Omens.
Bad Omens.
Oh, Bad Omens, yeah.
Bad Omens is actually a home state,
Yes.
That went kaboom.
Yes. Like it was also Lamb of God too was
Yeah.
from Richmond. And what was it, Guar? One of the members of Guar, I think, as well.
And Ricky actually from Ice Nine Kills is from the Richmond area.
Yes. It's very
So-
important. Yeah. I think that's a good opportunity. Bad Omens is like I actually knew one of the members a long time ago. I think he still comes in tattoos. But yeah, he has like a tattoo parlor here, and then I think one of the singers, not a singer, I don't remember his name, but someone from the Lamb of God has like a shop with his wife here, and sometimes he'll just pop up and help her work. And yeah, like those are like some people like I would love to get on the podcast, but that's gonna probably be down the line. But I think Bad Omens would be a good, good company to play. I've actually seen them live. I'm seeing them live again coming up soon too.
Yeah, my drum tech actually used to drum tech for him.
Oh wow, that's so
Yeah, he's good friends with the drummer.
So
Yeah, Les was saying when we opened for Infected Green.
It'd be a really good band. I enjoyed playing with and tour with.
They were so nice.
Yeah, they were really good.
Infected Rain,
They're
Butcher
really fun.
Babies.
Yeah. With some of the shows that you guys have noticed, you've also played at the Blue Ridge Rock Festival. What was one of your favorite parts about that?
Crowd.
Playing it.
Yeah. The whole 30 minutes, honestly, yeah, I mean, watching all those, that was incredible because we started and there was maybe like 30 or 40 of our regular bands.
Yeah.
To the festival. And just watching the crowd of people just keep stacking and stacking and stacking throughout, for only a stage for 3 minutes. That was
On a Sunday.
on a Sunday afternoon, and it was so overwhelming. We have a picture of Les, where Les is standing there with his arms wide, and we posted it on our Instagram a bunch of times, and he just has this hugest smile, because it was incredible. And so yeah. What were you going to say?
That's so cool that you get to live your dreams, get to experience something not a lot of people get to experience. Like, because I'll do pop-ups because I make candles and stuff like that. So, like, it's the best, it's the best thing ever, like, having people buy your candles at, like, a pop-up event. and like having a line of people going, oh, this is cool, I want to get that, I want to do that, like that looks cool, I have your business card. Like it was a good experience. Like I've never had a big event like that before. I mean, I don't have anything yet, I don't have music ties, but like I want to like be that, you know, inspirational to like other people, and people want to like rush to see me too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, your voice is great for this, by the way. Like you have a good personality voice for sure. So I think you'll probably do pretty good.
Here's that Blue Ridge picture.
Oh yeah,
Yes, that's super exciting. That's so
And what was
great.
really funny is we actually heard somebody in the Blue Ridge fan zone page was like, we never knew that Alanis Morissette got announced for Blue Ridge. When did that happen? And they were actually talking about us because we cover You Ought to Know.
Yeah, and from a distance, it sounds pretty much like it. I mean,
So I mean, and that's an awesome feat too. As like, I mean, we all grew up on Alanis Morissette as one of like her inspirations. Is like, so
huge inspiration. Huge.
How was working with what's his name, Jonathan, in the studio?
well,
Oh, we love him so much.
yeah, he's
our silent fifth member.
Yeah.
you know, and I'll tell you, this is what you'll hear, and I'm sure that your boyfriend's the same way. It's hard when you're creating a song that's your baby. It took a long time for me to let go. But like the first time I went in the studio, you know, I hovered over him. Second time, kind of not. This last time, I left the room. Never.
He actually left.
Yeah, I trust him with my music to the fullest extent. He's now our full producer, which is what he is. I mean, that kid has a bright future, super bright future. Like he's just really just started. Like he hasn't gotten. He's brilliant. Period. That's the only way to describe him. Is he can take a dot and make it a mountain. Like he can. It's crazy. Even if like you go there with nothing, like, man, this is my idea. You're coming out of there with something. That's for sure, man. Like he's making it happen. So yeah, brilliant kid.
So with you guys making it happen, what was the motivation to do rock and metalcore?
Oh yeah, good question.
That was a first question.
You know, I grew up on metal. I loved metal growing up, but the metal I grew up on was a little bit different than what's out now. Like, you know, I grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I liked bands like Vision of Disorder and One Side Zero, and I loved Incubus. And, you know, then we could go towards more of the metal, like American Head Charge, you know, 40 Below Summer. All those bands, I watched a lot of them, you know. And once I started moving towards metalcore, because of my music, that it's been years, you know, I've had riffs for years and years and years. And I just started listening to bands like Wage War. And I mean, God, I Prevail. Asking Alexandria. And I was going, you know, what if I take some of my songs and just kind of start shifting it a little bit more towards the metalcore style with more digital sounding, and it works great. And I love it. I guess that would be the answer. I love metalcore because it is powerful, yet it's emotional
And
melodic. And we can get, our biggest thing is to try to sing and feel the emotion. I want our song to sound like what she's singing about, if that makes any sense. With metalcore, you can do that, and you can get down on stage, you know what I'm saying? So bounce.
All right, so Lost My Zen. That is actually one of my favorite songs. Yeah, can we talk about that one a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the inspiration behind Lost My Zen?
Versus anxiety.
Yeah.
Anxiety, and so the words are really based around, so you might not see it. So at a show, you might not see Versus Anxiety because he'll be running around, but usually pre-show, or sometimes when there's other things going on, like on the way there, that's when you'll see, I have to make this be quiet. That's when you'll see kind of more of the anxiety happening. But and then it's about me trying to keep my cool and keep my own zen. because I am a very, like I've studied Buddhism for years. It's so funny to be singing metalcore, right? And to be like getting the anger out in a way when I studied Buddhism for so long.
Yeah.
And I do like a gratitude list every morning and I do a morning meditation. But it's just about that, trying to keep that in check when you're trying to share knowledge and help somebody when you see that, and talking him off the ledge, really talking him off the ledge of, because there's been so much trauma.
Well, I mean, it's not just that. It's the fact that the bands, when I was in a band back in the day, it was your amps and your drums
Yeah.
and the crowd. Now it's amps, drums, Apple computers. So there's so much going on, man. I am so doom and gloom when it happens. I'm like, man, what is going to happen? What is going to go down? What is going to freeze up? Amps
Yeah.
don't freeze up, they blow up.
No.
You know what I'm saying? They don't freeze up, they blow up. So if an amp blows up, that shit looks great.
Yes.
You can always get someone else's amp on stage, but when your computer freezes up,
Yeah.
you look like an idiot, and I don't want to look like an idiot. You look like Vanilli, like you're like, okay. And it just stops. So it's the tech.
Yeah, with technology being the way it is now, like, what's your opinion on the streaming services to listen to music like Octane and SiriusXM and Spotify? How do you Yeah, it was a good question. Like how what's your opinion on that one?
I honestly, personally, I love them. As an artist, I wish we made more money.
Mhm.
But we don't. That's not the world we live in anymore, right? So, I mean, I love them. I love Sirius and I love Spotify and I use them. I
Mhm.
have Sirius in my car. I subscribe. And I also love FM radio as well because I listen to FM radio sometimes when I feel like listening to Octane. So, and especially if I want to know like what locally is going on, because our local rock station around here, those guys, oh my God, they're hysterical. First of all, it's FM 99. They're so funny in the morning and all throughout the day. The DJs are great. So,
Mhm.
I guess that's a really long-winded answer, and I'm not trying to sound like a commercial.
I say something too.
Yeah.
Anyone that complains about that, about Spotify or any of those streaming services or Facebook, if they could step back in time and go be a band in like the 90s, they'll learn a lot. Like you have to call home, you drive for hours, you don't know what kind of band you're playing with. You just go there and figure it out. And it could be a band in a headdress, Indian headdress, which has happened to me. And we showed up and they were just like whatever they were, but you didn't know back then and couldn't pre-warn people. So you'd show up. And if you didn't have a crowd base, you're playing for 6 people in Iowa. But now you can at least give them a heads up. So in the streaming services, where are they going to go listen to your music back then? A CD that they don't have?
Yeah.
Or the CD they get at your show that they'll be able to come to next time? So anyone that complains about that, they've never had to experience what I experienced. That's for sure.
I think it's I mean, I'm still young enough to where like I mean, I'm not as, you guys are a little bit older generation than I am. So
Yeah.
like I remember when we got our first computer and our first like DVD player and CDs. Like I never had to use like the tapes. And I was at the peak of the internet. So like I never really learned how to like do those things beforehand, and that's how like my generation is now. Like we know a different we're just different. We know things differently. We're there in the head of technology, and like things are different. And with saying that, you have people my age now getting into music, and the fact that you're like, oh, Spotify isn't stupid. A lot of bands still are like, I don't want to be on social media. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And what's your opinion on that?
There is no band without it anymore.
Yeah.
Like you can't, because there's no money in the industry really.
Nope.
Unless you're humongous.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the way they're thinking, they're going to stay below the bar.
Yes.
There's no way for
It's
them.
not fun. It's not easy.
It is not. And there's no way the gatekeepers will see them ever. You know what I'm saying? Like ever. Or they say like you're stuck. So saying that it's stupid would be bad. Like, I mean, even if you don't get any money from them, what is the hurt?
Yeah.
That it's called because your song isn't making enough money. Why? I mean, you got to make your money too. Like if you want to be in a band and you're trying to make money with the band, then you're going to have to play covers.
Yeah.
Most likely, unless you become super humongous, which in this day and age, man, it takes a lot. But it only takes one Fireflies song or whatever for you to go.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that one like push. to get at least viral is something that's very important, because like all you need is that one time. And then you could, you'll probably be there. And I'm like, that's insane. Like there's just one person out of a billion of people is the one person that's gonna move you guys viral. And that's like insane. It's insane how like the music industry is also now pushing artists to make TikToks. And then you see all these like artists being like, oh my God, this is so stupid, but I have to make a TikTok. And that's the sad reality.
Did you see that with Amy Lee and Lindsay Sterling?
Yes.
That was so funny. Oh my God. I was like, oh, I love you, Amy Lee. You're my idol.
And it's insane that we're like forced to be on the social media train, but at the same time, social media is where it's at now. Like people have jobs through social media. People can like not even have to work anymore. They could just sit at home and, do that. And that's like insane. How like one video, one like can get you to that point in this decade.
I mean, look at Harper. Is like she just went on to AGT, and then now she got signed to Rise Records as a 9-year-old, and has a single out there that's blowing up massively. And that's just from singing a 45-second thing on AGT.
Yes, that's insane. And we are getting a little close. We have like 1 minute left. Yep. So it's been great talking to you, and I love all your opinions. We're here with Magdalene. Magdalene, will you go ahead and give everyone your plug and where to follow?
On social media, everywhere. Follow us obviously on Spotify, on Apple Music, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on Deezer. Go to our tree. If you go anywhere on our website, any of our socials, you'll find links to our link.
We want to get on Octane. It's going to happen.
I can see it happening with the hard work you guys do. I think it'll happen soon, and especially with the following getting up and the shows. I think it's, in the future, like I happen to just be upon you, and I was like, oh my God, I love it. And I like it's great. I loved talking to you guys for 30 minutes. I hope we have maybe a second interview in the future, but thanks for being here.
Absolutely.